after last week, I was really wanting to come on here and be happy. I was really wanting to come on here and be joyous. I was really wanting to come on here and be positive. Unfortunately, I can't. Unfortunately, WWE has proved me wrong. Unfortunately, WWE has just said, you know what, Webby? Don't think that we can do this 2 weeks in a row. Because we can't. Don't think that we can put on a really good show 2 weeks in a row. Because we can't. I mean, when you really think about it, this show was nowhere near like last week's. A 6-man, 2 out of 3 falls matchup. That's ridiculous, wrestling fans. I think you all would agree with me on that. You are burying it into the ground. It is enough to shove it. It is shoving it down our throat now, WWE. You're shoving it down our throat. The club and Ricochet, I understand what you're doing there. That is just fine. Ricochet overcoming the club before he gets to facing AJ Styles at the Extreme In Your House Rules pay-per-view. Because wrestling fans, even with them adding the matches that they added tonight for the Extreme pay-per-view, it still feels like an in-your-house show. And I still am thinking that AJ Styles is going to walk out victorious this Sunday at Extreme Rules. I don't see Ricochet beating AJ Styles. The club is getting the U.S. Championship. I just see that happening. And who knows, maybe at SummerSlam, Ricochet recaptures the U.S. Championship. But AJ Styles is winning at SummerSlam. But the biggest thing that I wanted to start off with, before I talk about anything else, is how they've been taking all their commercial breaks. Because, this is ridiculous. Whether it's the 2 out of 3 falls matchup, or it's Shane McMahon doing his boring promo. And I mean boring. Before he faced Roman Reigns with Drew McIntyre. And it's not like Roman Reigns didn't take the microphone out of the announcer's hand and stopped the announcement, the presentation, the ring announcing of the best in the world. It's not like that. It was Shane McMahon talking, getting his name announced, making everybody puke. And wrestling fans, I'm just done with it. I think you all are too. And, I want you to look at this. And remember how things used to be. And I'm not talking about the 20-minute promos when the show starts. I'm talking about how they did it way, way back in the old days, where they had the two announcers, the two broadcast journalists in the back. Mean Gene Okerlund, and they had Sean Mooney. I'm going way back now. And they had about 5 or 6 minutes, and they took a number of rivalries, and they cut short promos, okay? And they were in different segments, different spots. And then they took a commercial break, and they went back to action for 30 minutes. Why can't WWE do something like that? Now, it is something different. It is something out of the ordinary. We don't see that every day. Switch things up. Why can't WWE have a promo on the stage? And if you want to, have the rival come and attack them on the stage. Do you remember when Jake the Snake Roberts cut the promo with Mean Gene Okerlund, Survivor Series 1991, when Mean Gene Okerlund looked at Jake the Snake Roberts and said, "You are a sick man, Jake Roberts. Thank you very much." People love that. We haven't seen that kind of stuff since AJ Styles and Big Cass was cutting their promos on SmackDown Live. That was a long time ago. That was a few years ago. Give me a break here. Then you could go to a commercial. Not the way you're doing things now. Not these 2 out of 3 falls. Not, and especially the 2 out of 3 falls that you're doing now, where you have one fall that lasts a few minutes. Then you have the second fall that lasts 5 minutes. And then you have the third fall that lasts 30 seconds. You remember when 2 out of 3 falls actually used to mean something? This is ridiculous. 2 out of 3 fall matches in WWE these days mean absolutely nothing. It is garbage. Garbage. And I know there's somebody out there that's going to say, well, Webby's biased. Well, Webby just likes certain things. Well, Webby's going to come on here and just gripe. I heard it the other day talking to one of my friends. And one of my friends said that. Jason Funny said it. Yes, I know you're going to watch this. And I know you'll probably comment down below about it. I don't care. Anyway. Rey Mysterio. Let's dive into it. Why in the world is he fighting Bobby Lashley? Why? So Bobby Lashley can dispose of him in a couple of seconds? This is Rey Mysterio's first night back. Unless Rey Mysterio is still hurt to some degree, and he's just there to pop a rating, help pop a rating, and they need Bobby Lashley to destroy somebody really quick on his way to Extreme Rules. Bam! There's no reason for Rey Mysterio to be on TV. And let me tell you, I would much rather Rey Mysterio face Cesaro or face Cedric Alexander, who we saw at the very end of Monday Night Raw, which, mind you, was Gary the GOAT, who got the biggest ovation, the biggest applause of the entire night. It amazes me. Gary the GOAT. You gotta be kidding me with this stuff. Speaking of kidding me, Paul Heyman was on here, and he said, let's get down to business. Now, wrestling fans, let's get down to business. And getting down to business is, none of us care about Brock Lesnar being in championship rivalries. Let's get down to business. Paul Heyman says that Brock Lesnar is going to be in Extreme Rules and cashing in his Money in the Bank contract. Brock Lesnar is going to cash in on either Kofi Kingston or Seth Rollins on Sunday. Let me make this perfectly clear. That's not happening. I do not see that happening. He's been teasing it and teasing it and teasing it. He's lying again, folks. I don't see it happening. I don't. And if he does, it's on Kofi Kingston. Because they are not going to have Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch laying sprawled out. No. They're not going to have Becky Lynch sitting there, over there, just crying over Seth Rollins. And that's not happening. I mean, can you imagine WWE, number one, knocking out Becky Lynch, and then Brock Lesnar coming in and F5ing Seth Rollins? I don't see that. Not at Extreme Rules. What I can see is Kofi Kingston losing. If this happens, Kofi Kingston winning, and the Coquelia Clutch gets put on him after the matchup. Bam! Brock Lesnar cashes in. Little thing called Fox. Okay, WWE. Okay, wrestling fans. But, you know, what do I know? I'm just a wrestling fan of 30 years. But, you know, one thing to keep in mind with that, too. Brock Lesnar can go back and forth now. Little thing called the wild card. And no matter how much Eric Bischoff wants to keep the brands separate, because if you listen to anything on the internet, he has kind of alluded to that would be one thing that needs to happen. Keep the brands separate. That is one thing that I guarantee that would be okay with. Brock Lesnar being on SmackDown and Raw. Called ratings. Cesaro versus No Way Jose. I'm not going over it. I'd rather Cesaro face Rey Mysterio tonight. Rather Cesaro be United States champion or, you know, WWE champion, tag team champion, something. He's getting treated like garbage. 24/7 title. I really did not care about the segment tonight. It really did not interest me. Usually it does. Tonight it didn't. And honestly, that was Monday Night Raw. If you want to get down to it, I mean, Nikki, she beat the clock. You know, Nikki and Bayley. All right, Nikki and Bayley. They had a beat the clock challenge. Nikki beat it. Now Alexa gets to pick the stipulation. I honestly think that Alexa Bliss should get to be able to capture the title, capture the championship, and then Nikki beat Alexa for the title, and then Nikki defend the championship against people that actually mean something, need a championship in the WWE on SmackDown. If that happens, if a rivalry like that happens, that'd be alright to me. Because while Nikki and Alexa's going on, the other women can get their clout, their contention up. Because a lot of them don't mean anything right now. You look at Ember Moon. She doesn't mean anything. I mean, you look at Mandy Rose. While she's getting pushed some, she really doesn't mean anything right now. I mean, you look at the women on SmackDown. They don't mean jack. They gotta get their clout. They got mean something before they get into title contendership. Mike and Maria, who cares? Viking Raiders, they won, but it was against jobbers again. Nice to see them on TV, I guess. And that was it. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, remember to give me a thumbs up and remember to leave a comment down below. And I'll see you tomorrow for SmackDown Live. Remember, I will not have the review of Extreme Rules this Sunday. I will be on a cruise down in Bahamas, so I will not have the review, but I will be putting together an on the road during my cruise down there. It's going to be a good time, and I hope you enjoyed that. But until I see you again, this is Webby, and I'll catch you on the other side. Talk to you later.